Okay, welcome back, y'all. Y'all ready for y'all Bible story today? Welcome to Grown Folks Bible Story. Let's get started. Today's lesson comes from 1 Timothy chapter 5. It talks about women, which women are to be widows, which women should remain single, which women should be remarried. And this primarily focuses on women under 60 years old. They should get remarried. Let me read to you where I'm going to be starting from. So, again, 1 Timothy chapter 5. I'm going to read from verse 11. But refuse the younger widows, for when they have begun to grow wanton against Christ, they desire to marry, having condemnation because they have cast off their first faith. And besides, they learn to be idle, wandering around from house to house, and not only idle, but also gossips and busybodies, saying things they ought not to say. Therefore, I desire that the younger women and the younger widows marry, bear children, manage the house, give no opportunity to the adversary to speak reproachfully, for some have already turned aside to Satan. If any believing man or woman has widows, let them relieve them, and do not let the church be burdened, that it may relieve those who are really widows. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining me again for our Grown Folk Bible Stories. I'm coming from Timothy chapter 5. Let's talk about Vicky. Vicky, I am going to say that Vicky is a woman restored, though. You'll hear about it at the end of the story. But let's talk about Vicky. Vicky was the kind of woman everybody in her small town noticed. She was young, beautiful, and full of energy, but her days were often empty. After the sudden passing of her husband, she found herself with too much time and too little direction. Instead of seeking purpose, she began wandering from house to house, inserting herself into the lives of others, not minding her own business. Now, let me just tell you the difference between a single woman and a person like Vicky. Now, a single woman has direction and purpose. If they have chosen to be single, they have direction and purpose. It's a big difference. They're not going in and out of people's houses, wondering what they can say, who they can hurt, and what bone they're going to take to somebody else's house. They ain't bringing no bones. They ain't taking no bones. They honestly too busy. Their lives are full of purpose. Now, Vicky started her morning. She was really wanted to do right when she started her morning, but the boredom just got the best of her. So she ended up one day just dropping over to her friend Carla's house unannounced. And let me tell you, be careful of those unannounced friends that just pop over without calling first. So anyway, she was at Carla's house and they started drinking coffee and sipping and chatting. So she just had innocent conversations. You know, somebody's growing up, graduating, etc. But then they quickly started turning into gossip sessions. Vicky loved to hear what was going on in the lives of other people. And even more so, she loved to embellish, lie. Just going around lying. The stories she heard. Sheila's husband didn't come home until midnight last night, Vicky told Carla. Actually, she whispered it. Hey, girl, did you hear about Sheila's husband? He ain't come home till after midnight. I bet he's seeing somebody else. See, that's what she started telling. So then Carla's like, what? I ain't really think he was a cheating kind of person. I thought he just maybe was working late. But Vicky still just kept going. But the truth was, he was really just working late. He had an emergency at his job, but she's sowing seeds of discord into this woman's house. So then when she finished talking to Carla, she then gone over to Sheila's house. And she go to Sheila's house and she say, Sheila, I just left from over by Carla's house. Did you know her and her husband was having problems paying their bills? They ain't got no money up in there. I ain't seen no food, nothing. She didn't even understand what's going on in their house. They just cleaned out their stuff in their refrigerator because they was buying a new refrigerator the next day. But Vicky, she just making her own assumptions. Now here we go. So Vicky is just going from house to house. She is starting a bunch of mess in her community. She shouldn't be this idle. She shouldn't be without purpose, without direction. But here we go. Her words were like seeds scattered in the wind. They began to grow and fester, kind of like weeds. You don't even have to worry about growing weeds. They just pop up anywhere. Friendships was unraveled. Trust was broken. Husbands and wives started fighting over all the rumors that had no basis in truth at all. Just Vicky going around making assumptions about people. Families, Carla's family, her and her husband, and Sheila's family, her and her husband, they used to be friends. They used to hang out, go do things together. But now they done fell apart. They lost faith and trust in each other. Used to go to church and everything together. They don't even talk to each other no more because they let somebody else come in between them, which was wrong to do. But Vicky, she oblivious to all the chaos she was causing. She felt satisfied. Yeah, because you know what? She didn't have nothing else to do. This was her purpose. Going around chit-chatting. Her idle chatter was tearing the community apart. Vicky done ran through Carla's house. She done ran through Sheila's house. People getting sick of her now. Carla's not letting her in. Just stop popping up over my house. And Sheila's like, I'm too busy to talk right now. You got to come back. So Vicky went on over to an older woman's house named Margaret. Now, they used to call Margaret Miss Maggie. So she took something over there for her to eat. Took some little cake or something because she didn't just go to Miss Margaret's house empty-handed. She had a little bit of values. But she got there and she started gossiping a little bit with Miss Maggie. And Miss Maggie said, pause. Put a pin in it. I'm not trying to hear all that. She said, Vicky, let me ask you something. You've been going around talking about people? She said, what good has this done? What good has it done that you running back and forth to anybody's house? Are you solving anybody's problems? Or are you making their problems worse? Did you even stop to think about what you could be doing? Did you even stop to think about the stuff that you were saying, if it was true or not? Everybody around here now know that all you do is run from house to house talking about everybody's business. Don't nobody up in here trust you. And I don't trust you because I don't know what you going to do. You going to go out here out of my house and tell everybody else what I got going on? I ain't talking to you about nothing. You got to get it straight. Or you going to be out here by yourself. Miss Maggie, she wasn't having none of that. So finally, Vicky had to sit around and think about it. She said, I don't know if I made people's problems better or worse. They didn't tell me nothing. I was just talking. I wasn't trying to be mean or anything. But Miss Maggie asked her, she said, do you want to just be known as the person that's going around destroying people's families and hurting people's lives? Do you even know that? And Vicky didn't know. She just started crying. She really just didn't know. She like I said, she ain't got no purpose. She got no direction. She just didn't even know. So Vicky left Miss Margaret's house. She left Miss Maggie's house in tears, crying. She finally had to stop and do some self-reflection, and Miss Maggie finally was helping her to really see how she really has hurt people. She wasn't trying to hurt Vicky, but she just wanted to bring attention to what Vicky was doing to other people around the neighborhood, in their church community, in their family community, just in the neighborhood, all over. So Vicky left the house and she was crying. She had to do some self-reflection. When she got home, she asked God to forgive her, to please help her to heal the people that she has harmed. Because you can ask God for forgiveness in this lifetime, but you really need to go back and try to help to heal or make good on the people that you have harmed. And sometimes people don't do that. They just hurt you and they think that it's just going to go away. They can keep walking away from it. But when you really are searching for God and you're asking for God, you do take that step to go back and try to make amends to everybody that you've hurt. So Vicky went around and she did something she never did before. She went to Carla's house. She stopped over and she apologized to her. She told her how she was sorry. She didn't know her words had hurt and how they hurt. And she finished that house. She went over to Sheila and she apologized to Sheila. And she said that she was sorry. She didn't know that it would ruin her family and ruin relationships between her and Carla. Later on, she also invited both of them to come to her house for dinner because she wanted to make sure that they tried to communicate with each other and that she took ownership of their relationship falling apart because of the words that she may have said. So Vicky really took ownership for her own behavior and she made amends. And that's how she became redeemed, is because she stopped running from house to house and being busy. Then she decided to get purpose for her life. She went and dug deep into her scriptures. She tried to make herself whole again. And then she found purpose in her life. And later on, once she was on her purpose and she had some vision for her life, she ended up getting remarried. And then she could recognize herself when another young lady tried to come knock on her door and be the same busybody she used to be before. So when Missy Marvetta showed up to Carla's house, she said, "Come on, Marvetta, we're not going to do this here. I know that it's hard. I know that you thought you were going to get married, that your fiance is no longer interested in marrying you, but you have to heal from that. And you have to find direction and purpose in your life again. You were not going to be like me. I used to do that, running around, going from house to house, gossiping and trying to find purpose and direction by visiting people. But I had to get into God's word and I had to find purpose and direction there. Once I did that, I was able to find my voice again. I was able to get remarried. So don't turn into me. I want you to seek God's face. I want you to find direction and purpose for your life. And if there is a brighter future for you, I want you to take it. But don't destroy people. So this story shows how idleness and gossip can ruin families. It can destroy. But also the accountability for the things that you do can renew your faith in God, can renew friendships. It can lead to redemption. It's a cautionary tale, everybody. A message of hope. When we turn back to God, we can rebuild what was broken. One thing about it, I want you not to be idle. And this is your grown folk Bible story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Come see me again soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye and be blessed.